This week on Exploring Earth Project, we sail into the amazing Sydney Harbour and prepare the boat for a rigging overhaul. Plus, we stumble across a light show that is out of this world. We're Chloe and Ben, an Australian couple who have packed up our lives and traded it for one on the move.
Whether it's navigating the ocean or wandering the land, we've got you covered.
Subscribe for regular episodes as we explore the Earth by sail, van and foot. I'm going to say that our Starlink is actually working really well.
Yeah, it's great. We've basically had it the whole way, haven't we?
We have, yeah, and we're really far up. I mean, you can see the shore out there. That's about a good 5 kilometres. So we're happy with that purchase at the moment. So far, so good. I was just watching a movie just then on live TV, so it works.
We are currently located a few nautical miles off the east coast of Australia near Jervis Bay. And after a week of non-stop sailing day and night, we are finally making our way up north towards the famous heads of Sydney Harbour, where we plan to spend some time in Rushcutters Bay to do some maintenance on the boat and take in the sights.
I just forgot something. I knew that I wasn't able to film it last night, even though I really wanted to. But Chloe dropped the lasagna on the floor last night.
I literally put a lasagna in the oven, but it was taking ages to cook. So I reckon I probably at this point had been on it for about an hour. And as I've opened the door, basically it slid out of the oven onto the floor, and there was no way I could recover it. It was a huge lasagna. It would have been like this big.
It smelled good.
It smelled so good, and I'd taste like I'd been putting the knife in, tasting it, making sure it was hot in the middle.
At least you got to taste it.
Oh, barely, just the top of it. And then when it just sprawled all over the floor, I was just like, you're kidding me. And I was so tired at that point. I just wanted to eat and go to bed. Dad was like looking at me, and he knew I was obviously pissed, so he didn't say too much. And then you popped your head in, and then I sort of just bit your head off. I was pissed. It was so annoying, and I had to clean it up.
You reminded me of that dog guy, the guy on the news.
You're not going to cut to that. That's cool.
Cut to that now.
They came bounding over.
Anyway, I thought I'd remind her of that.
All the things I love, where they come and go, but what I need, it never knows. It's the chase of time, it's the fear I'll fail, it's never knowing who I am. It's where I'll go, it's what I'll see, it's what it takes to chase that dream. It's the peace of mind, it's the fuel to the fire, it's the end of the world of my desires. I swear it comes with time.
We're just saying goodnight to each other because it's another night shift. We're just off the coast of Wollongong at the moment, so
Yeah, not far from there.
yeah, which means we're pretty close to Sydney. We should be there at some point in the morning, maybe around 9 o'clock now. We're going a bit slow. There's not much wind. In fact, there is wind, but it's
right on the nose. So we've got our mainsail up, but it's not doing anything really.
Yeah.
And we've got heaps of current against us, so our boat speed has dropped a lot.
So Chloe's on the first watch until about 11. I'll take over from there, and then the hard part about this area is that there's a lot of shipping. So especially out the front of Wollongong, we've got to navigate through a lot of big boats.
We're going to have to be strategic about the next 12 hours. Hopefully we're still arriving into Sydney by the morning, but at the moment it's saying about lunchtime, but hopefully we'll pick up speed once we have the sails up, which we should be able to do around midnight tonight.
Yeah. Good night, babe. Why are you laughing?
We can't reach each other because my head torch and your hat are donking each other.
What time is it, babe?
It is 8:30 in the morning.
So we got here about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Just parked our boat in where? Where are we? CYC.
We're at the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia.
Cruising Yacht Club.
CYCA.
That sounds very prestigious, is it?
It is. This is where the Sydney to Hobart leaves from.
Hey guys.
Morning.
Good morning. I wonder if we fit in.
Well, don't know about that. Don't know millions of dollars.
I'm proud of you, babe.
Yeah, I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
I'm very tired. I've been up since 4 a.m. so I feel like it's a bit. I'm just beyond it. But it is very exciting. It's good to be here.
Good to be on
It's been
land.
a long. Actually, it wasn't that long, to be fair. Like, it was our 7th day that we were on the water for. So.
Sorry, there's just planes flying overhead. You're in civilization now, aren't you? All right, let's go get a feed.
This is where we sailed in today. So we literally came where that big cliff is. No, I don't know if you can see that. But we came through that, past that. That was on our left. Right? And then we sailed all the way through into here and then into Rushcutter Bay, which is just behind this big building here. So very exciting that we can see that. Oh, it's so comfortable.
Booked ourselves a little room at the Sheraton.
Oh.
Excuse me, can you just scoot just a little bit over? Oh.
It's very, very comfy. It beats having a boat that's bouncing around.
Our bed was wet, so we decided to splash out on a room at the Sheraton, and we didn't think we were going to get a bath, but
Yes, there's a nice sized bath for us. We thought we'd treat ourselves. Why not?
yeah, we deserve it after 7 days at sea.
Yeah, and
We're
I'm
just
tired.
gonna s-
Oh,
Oh.
exactly what I've been dreaming of.
I didn't even take it in, but yeah, it's real nice. Okay. Now that we're in Sydney, Chloe and I have a few jobs to do because we're actually taking off the mast tomorrow, which has to be done every 10 years, and it just so happens that this is the 10th year. So we have to have it done before November, and we don't have much long left. So we figured whilst we're in Sydney and in this great harbour and marina at CYC, we might as well get it done. Hey, Chloe.
I need to explain that a bit better. The reason it needs to be done is for insurance purposes. And we won't be able to be insured if the rigging hasn't been done in the last 10 years. So that's why it needs to be done.
So we have to take the dinghy off, we have to take a shroud off, which is like a thing at the bottom of the mast inside the cabin, and then tomorrow we take it around to like a crane thing, and they hook the mast up, and they'll take off all the stays and then lift the mast out, and then we'll have a boat with no mast for a little bit.
So I need to take the sails off today as well, so that it's ready to go in the morning.
Done. All right, let's get to it. Big job, and we've got a guy here at CYC named Ronnie. He's taking care of it for us, and we should have the mast back in a couple of days, and we won't have to do that again for another 10 years. Tonight, just to reward ourselves, taking Chloe out for dinner down at somewhere around like Circular Quay where the Sydney Opera House is, so that'll be nice. Bit of romance for us, because doing all this sort of stuff can be quite stressful, and we just sort of need to relax, and yeah, that'll be nice tonight. One of the best and cheapest ways to see the sights of Sydney Harbour is to catch one of the many ferries on offer.
And if you're lucky enough, you'll get to witness some of the best rope skills we have ever seen. Makes us think we need to pick up our game.
And if you're even luckier, you get to do what we did and stumble across one of the best light shows in the Southern Hemisphere. People compared to the ocean.
It very much is. No solitude here.
Speaking of solitude, to escape the crowds, we paid a visit to the New South Wales Gallery to soak in some art.
Those things are dangerous, babe.
For you, they definitely are.
I'm the most accident-prone person in the world, and bring me here where I can knock that over. Get a bit of anxiety here. I'm going to ruin something. It's worth millions of dollars. Chloe's just seeing the boat for the first time after we took the mast off. What do you think, babe?
I don't like it at all. Poor girl. So what's happened since we've taken the mast off is we're able to inspect the rigging, and by doing that we can see that if you look at the pin here, which is our pin that holds the forestay, the top of the mast, the pin has basically loosened over time, and when it would normally bend around the pin, it has become straight, which means it can easily come out. We're very lucky that we took the mast off to be able to find this. We wouldn't have known otherwise, and that could have been quite drastic had we found out whilst we were sailing.
We felt a little lost without our mast, so to feel connected to the sea again, we decided to go and explore the Australian National Maritime Museum.
We were amazed to see Kate Coddy's yacht on display and to be able to learn more about her story of becoming the first woman to sail a solo, non-stop circumnavigation around the globe. Something that is incredibly inspiring to me as a female sailor.
I just didn't have a clue. In my mind, it was like looking down a tunnel, and there was happiness, and there was tears, and there was absolute terror. The worst night in the entire voyage was off the Cape of Good Hope, which is known as the Cape of Storms, actually.
It was blowing up to 50, gusting 60, and I've had an hour and a half leap in 3 days.
And to my surprise, we stumbled across Sydney lads Cass and Jonesy's kayak, mentors of mine during my campaign to row across the Pacific Ocean. This is where they spent 60 days paddling across the Tasman Sea to become the first people to successfully do so in a kayak. Insane.
This might be a good time to remind you, if we are inspiring you at all in our endeavours, then hitting that subscribe button on our channel helps us to keep making these movies for you. We appreciate your support.
After the team at Ronnie Rigging did an incredible job of fixing our mast and updating our rigging, there was only one thing left to do: take it for a spin in the harbour. So last night in Sydney also happens to be Chloe's birthday as well.
Yes,
we have gone out for a
it
few
does.
drinks just to celebrate at the...
Altitude restaurant, which is at the top of the Shangri-La Sydney Hotel.
I find that I can only have a couple of drinks before I'm a little bit tipsy. We're sailing up to...
You're not putting any of that in.
Making our journey up to Brisbane tomorrow morning. We're leaving Sydney at 3 a.m.
It's currently, 11
Yeah,
PM,
so we've got 4 hours
we've
before we
got
have to
4
get up.
hours,
Well,
which
before I get up and start the engines.
I haven't been feeling great the last few days.
So we're letting you have a little sleep in.
I'm hoping to get a bit more of a sleep in, but when the engine's running, it's very hard to sleep anyway, so we'll see how much of a sleep in I get. But
we were originally going to do a couple of little boat holds all the way up to Brisbane, but now we're going to sort of push it over the next few days up to Coffs Harbour.
We'll stay in Coffs next week whilst I'm working.
Yeah.
And then we'll continue from Coffs to Brisbane after that. So we should be in Brisbane by Sunday week. It's currently Thursday.
Yeah.
It'll be good to get there.
My dog's up there.
We've been in Sydney for 2 weeks, over 2 weeks now. So whilst it's been nice to just not have to do much, it's also, nice to keep going.
Yeah. We're looking forward to getting upwards and onwards.
Next time on Exploring Earth Project, we sail onwards and upwards towards Brisbane, amazingly dodging hundreds of whales in the process. However, leaving Sydney didn't go as expected.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.